Well, hello there. Enigma here. Today we will really challenge your mind. In this information gathering we will take a closer look to the mind-breaking paradoxes of the human history. A paradox is a claim or circumstance that contradicts itself yet nevertheless contains some truth. Philosophers, mathematicians, scientists, and logic experts have been baffled by a number of well-known paradoxes for ages. We shall look at some of the most well-known paradoxes in this information gathering and examine their ramifications. The first paradox is the Zeno paradox. This paradox is named after the ancient Greek philosopher Zeno of Elea. Zeno said that everything is actually at rest and that motion is only an illusion. He cited a number of paradoxes, the dichotomy paradox being the most well-known, to back up his claim. According to this paradox, for an object to get at its destination, it must first go halfway there, then halfway across the remaining distance, and so on. This implies that the object would always have a half distance to travel before arriving at its destination. The arrow paradox is a variant of the dichotomy paradox. According to this, when an arrow is shot from a bow, it is not actually moving because at any given moment, the arrow is at rest. This paradox calls into question how we perceive time, space, and motion. Next, we have the liar paradox. In this paradox, the liar asserts their own honesty while lying. For instance, if the liar asserts, "I'm lying," the claim can either be true or false. If the claim is accurate, the liar is lying, but if the claim is untrue, the liar is not lying. As a result of the statement's internal contradiction, a paradox results. The liar paradox exposes the limitations of language and reasoning and calls into question our conceptions of truth and untruth. Our next paradox is the barber paradox. The barber paradox concerns a barber who shaves all the males in a hamlet who do not shave themselves. It is a version on the liar paradox. Does the barber shave himself, is the question. If the barber shaves himself, he falls into the category of men who do not shave themselves. If he does not, he falls into the category of men who do shave themselves. The barber both shaves and does not shave himself due to this paradoxical position. The fourth paradox is the Sorites paradox. The Sorites paradox is also known as the paradox of the heap. It claims that even if we take one sand grain out of a pile of sand, it will still be a pile. When does a pile of sand stop being a pile if we keep taking away sand grains? This contradiction raises concerns about the nature of change and the relationship between quantity and quality while highlighting the challenges in defining terms like heap. Our last paradox in this information gathering is the ship of Theseus paradox. The ship of Theseus is a classic paradox that asks the question, is a ship still the same if all the parts are replaced throughout time? It is a well-known paradox. The paradox highlights the philosophical issue of what identity is and whether or not an object retains its identity if all of its components are changed. While some contend that the ship would stay the same as long as its general structure stayed the same, others contend that once all of its components were changed, the ship would change completely. This paradox has been discussed for centuries and it still poses a problem for our comprehension of the idea of identity. In conclusion, these well-known paradoxes cast doubt on our perceptions of reality, truth, and the nature of motion. They draw attention to the limitations of language and logic and stress how crucial it is to carefully consider our presumptions and ideas. Even though these contradictions could never have a complete solution, they still excite thought and spark conversations among specialists in philosophy, mathematics, and science. Feel free to write more examples of paradoxes in the comments or how you would solve these 5 paradoxes. See you next time. Enigma out.